Right now, I'm in the corner of 4th and Iowa Street here in downtown Dubuque, right in front of the Canfield Hotel, where we know that about an hour ago, a fire broke in there. On the Illinois side, masks are required, but on the Iowa side, because of state law, mask mandates are no-go. Well, the vaccination site here at Kennedy Mall used to be opened 5 days a week. You know, today is Wednesday, and see this, it's completely closed. If I'm bringing out the blue swim trucks with the pineapples, you know it's time to play. It's time to go to the pool. I'm actually outside Sutton Pool. This is right off Romberg Avenue. Going to work before the pandemic used to look like this, but now they're working from home, and that looks more like this. Here to my left, you can see actually what's left of that building that's basically been reduced to nothing. And it's actually kind of funny, like on the way to sundown, you don't see a drop of white, but here, literally a winter wonderland in the making.
I found myself in a cloud of smoke.
William Davis was one of about 30 people inside the Canfield Hotel when a fire broke Wednesday night. He says despite his mobility issues, he got out of bed and tried to get to safety.
Man, I'm not going to die like this. And that's like burning in hell.
But he says it was the brave efforts of 2 firemen who ensured he got to safety. Davis has been homeless and was living at the Canfield Hotel. After the fire, he stayed with a Dubuque rescue mission and then moved to an emergency shelter set up at the Five Flags Center. The fire had 1 reported injury, a person taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. But Fire Chief Rick Steines says it could have been much worse.
The building does not have a sprinkler system, does not have a standpipe system, so to get water to the 4th floor, they actually went up in the stairwell, took out a window and extended a hose line up into the stairwell.
Chief Steines says newer buildings would need to have a sprinkler system, but the Canfield didn't have one and didn't have to because of its age. Now authorities are listing damages of up to $300,000.
Primarily because of the fire damage on the 4th floor. The 4th floor also sustained very severe smoke damage.
Steines says, however, they believe the Canfield Hotel, a staple of downtown Dubuque, will be able to recover from this.
Structurally, the building is sound. There was really no significant structural damage. There's a lot of cleaning and some remodeling.
My family is going on an exciting vacation.
9-year-old Emerson Lukes loves to read and draw comics.
This is a comic strip. I like making a bunch of comics with my sister. I have more at my house, but I just couldn't find it all.
But above all else, she loves to write. That's why her big dream is to become an author when she grows up.
My friend Tinsley is like, I wish I could write stories like you. My stories, can you teach me how to write stories like that?
So logically, her go-to spot is Farley's Public Library. And like with any good book, on her most recent visit with her grandma, Emerson discovered the plot twist. Farley's Public Library is closing at the end of the month.
Me and my grandma got back on our bikes to ride home. I was telling her if we could do anything about it, and she said you could write a letter about it, and so I did.
That letter led us to her. We found out the library is inside a local middle school. The Western Dubuque School District says it now needs the library space for an expansion. Mike Wright with the Dubuque County Library District says they will set up a mobile library in the meantime.
We'll have materials in City Hall. People can browse. People will be able to check things out. They won't be the same as the library, but we'll be filling the gap as best we can.
He's encouraging people to reach out to Farley Council members to find a new home for the library. A home Emerson is not willing to lose.
I just feel like every time, like if you're sad, if you just read like 1 chapter of a book, you'll be a lot happier.
So when I found out, I felt really bad for her just because I know how she feels about wearing a mask.
Samantha Corman is referring to an email that Dubuque schools sent to parents at Sageville Elementary on Monday afternoon. It stated, as of today, students, teachers, and visitors at the building would be required to wear masks. This after the building reached a 3% COVID-19 positivity rate.
She can usually wear her mask up to a couple hours. But once it starts getting soggy or she's just playing with it, it kind of distracts her from learning.
Samantha applied for an exemption so her daughter Charlie wouldn't need to wear a mask in school. She cited brain health reasons for it. Charlie is one of very few students at Sageville Elementary who's exempt from wearing a mask. And a spokesperson with the school district says less than 75 parents have filled out these exemption forms.
About 3% of the students at Sageville have applied for an exemption, so a pretty small number in the overall scheme of the students in the school.
SICE says as of now, only 0.7% of students would qualify as exempt from wearing masks. He says the superintendent's office is reviewing these forms daily, especially when a school reaches the 3% threshold. He says the district is reviewing its COVID-19 dashboard daily, hoping to let parents know as soon as possible if it needs to implement a mask mandate.
Our goal is to make sure that when we have to make that decision based on the percentages, that we're able to announce that in such a way that it's before the school day gets over, so we can give families the advance notice to respond accordingly.
In Dubuque, Fernando Garcia-Franceschini, KCRG TV 9 News.